All right, everybody, welcome to the Backseat Huddle podcast, episode 52. And today I'm giving you guys my reactions and input and a goofy word you want to use on the Chiefs versus Lions last night. This game sucked. It was boring. These two teams finished first and fourth in overall offense last season. So I think we all expected some fireworks. Instead, what we got was poor execution, running backs being stuffed for 2 yards up the middle, missed false start calls, the Chiefs' right tackle lining up in fucking Egypt, and then dropped passes by both sides, and then the most mind-blowing, baffling fourth down decisions I've ever seen in my entire life. It has been 206 days since we last watched a football game, and the game we got Thursday was a snoozer. 206 days of waiting for a 21-20 game that was the new age version of a defensive standoff defensive football game. Lame. The biggest takeaway from the Chiefs-Lions game had league-wide implications. The biggest takeaway is that there were zero roughing the passer calls in this game. I thought they may have missed one on Patrick Mahomes, but if last night is how we can expect roughing the passer to be officiated for the rest of the season, holy shit, we got to be absolutely thrilled. No bullshit ticky-tack calls. Please, God, I will take that. Please let it be so. Please let this be the way we get to watch football the rest of the season, where it has to be at least a little bit excessive for them to call roughing the passer, not just accidentally breathing on Patrick Mahomes too hard. Let's talk about the actual teams now. So I'm going to start with the Chiefs. Why in the fuck did the Chiefs go for it on 4th and 25? Everyone boo this man, Andy Reid, right now for this. Who does Andy Reid think he has under center? Donovan McNabb? This was just a bad decision overall. When the call was made to go for it on 4th and 25, the Chiefs had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. And they'd only given up 14 points defensively up to that point. Why do you think your team isn't going to get a stop there? 4th and 25 and you go for it? Really? Come on now. If Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were still out there, I'd understand. But even if Patrick Mahomes got a good look and delivered it, one of his wide receivers would have just dropped it for a pick 6. I understand that you've got Patrick Mahomes and he's just the greatest fucking player to have ever looked at a football. But choose your spot. 4th and 25, that's a bad spot. And even if they punted it with the game on the line, who the hell is going to blame him for punting there? It's 4th and 25. Nobody is going to blame you for that. It was a bad call and everybody knew it. Now, this morning, everybody is going to be glazing Patrick Mahomes and talking about how well he played if he just had the receivers. But the story of this game was the Kansas City defense. The Lions finished last season on a really strong offensive run, and the Chiefs defense came together without their best player and held the Lions to only 14 points offensively, and that was really impressive. The Chiefs defense played well enough to win this game last night. Wins are a quarterback stat, but let's not give every single bit of credit just to the quarterback. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, had a vintage night. This is the guy who put together the game plan to stop the undefeated Patriots 2017, and he put on another show last night. The Chiefs were excellent defensively last night, especially on 3rd down, where they held the Lions to 5 for 15. Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense absolutely did enough to win the game, and they were impressive last night. The Chiefs offense, otherwise, let's have a chat about that. Patrick Mahomes was not that good Thursday night. I'm just bullshitting. He was as good as he was capable of being given the circumstances. I'm not going to start having an orgasm over Patrick Mahomes and his performance last night. He was really good, but he wasn't transcendent and he wasn't anything beyond what we expect Patrick Mahomes to be. We didn't suck off Brady. We didn't suck off Peyton Manning when they had regular games. And this was just a regular Patrick Mahomes game. He played the game. He played like Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not going to go over and above just because he is Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to give him all the extra for playing how he normally plays. He spent the entire game scrambling when it was appropriate, which is a skill a lot of quarterbacks these days offer, but it's going to get blown out of proportion because it was Patrick Mahomes. Then he spent the rest of the game being let down by below average wide receivers who weren't getting open and then were dropping passes when they were open. He also threw an interception right to CJ Gardner-Johnson that was dropped. He played well, and he was let down by his team most assuredly. But I'm not going to freak out over this performance by Patrick Mahomes. What I am going to freak out about is how bad did Kadarius Toney blow it?
You blew it!
The stage was set for him to have a coming out party, and he just blew it. Kelsey was out. Patrick Mahomes he didn't have a sure target. The KC offense was asking for him to step up, and he just failed. He finished with -1 rushing yards, 4 drop passes, all of which dropped off of his hands, and one of which caused a pick six. Tony Baloney with a night to forget. Now, let's talk about the Lions. The Lions do not give a fuck about your rules. Going for a fake punt in their own 18-yard line early in the first quarter is potentially a season-defining moment for the Lions. And it happened in the first 10 minutes of the first quarter of the first game of the season. Dan Campbell, the head coach, has balls the size of Jupiter. He clearly understands what it takes to dig this franchise out of the trash. When you're a team that loses every year, you as the leader of this team need to show that you are not willing to accept losing, and you're going to take the risks that it takes to get out of that losing mindset on the road against Patrick Mahomes, potentially putting yourself in awful field position shows you don't give a shit about fuck. You are here to win the damn game. And that's the type of behavior that it takes to change a franchise and turn this culture around. The fact that they even made that call, I can't even talk about it without getting a smile on my face. I think we all kind of have a soft spot for the Lions, and I think we're all kind of tired of seeing them lose, and good on them for doing everything that they can to get out of this culturally depressed whatever they're dealing with. Now, here's what I didn't like from the Lions. The Lions got bailed out Thursday night. They looked like the same old Lions. I don't care that they won the game. They got bailed out by the fact Patrick Mahomes had no one to throw to. If they played any team with a capable offense, they lose that game. They were good enough to win that game last night, but does anyone feel like they win if Travis Kelce plays? I surely don't. Why did the Lions offense play so poorly to walk out in the season opener after you've had an entire offseason to prepare? And last season, you had the 4th best overall offense, and they score 14 points offensively against a team without their best defensive player? That's not good enough. If they're going to be scoring 14 points offensively and relying on pick sixes bouncing off receivers' hands, they are in for a very long season. I definitely think their offense will be better moving forward, but then again, they're just going to have to be because they can't keep doing that anymore. So that is it. That's my opinion. That's my show. Thank you guys for listening. Feel free to like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, feel free to hit me with the follow. Give me a 5-star rating. It's on the channel page. Take care, everybody.